We lost our quorum for FinCom.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to reopen the meeting. Again, this is the Board of Selectmen. We also have an open capital meeting happening at the same time. The time is now 8:23. We are back from recess, And at this point, we're going to move on to our new business in approving our warrant articles or disapproving our warrant articles, depending on how people vote. And we're going to start with the warrant article for, I think it's Article 9, for the ambulance receipts reserved transfer, so that capital can have their vote and then resolve their meeting if that's what they choose to do.
Heather, are we not going to hear from Travis first?
Well, we have a number of people here that are in, so Travis, do you mind sticking around? Is it,
No, I'll wait.
okay, so sorry.
Got no choice.
I really though.
It's sort of like balancing one versus the
I
other.
understand.
Go on then, carry on then.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, so we're going to start with Article 9. It is for ambulance receipts reserved, a transfer from the ambulance receipts reserved in the amount of $61,000 to fund the purchase of a Lucas and cardiac monitor for the fire department, including all related expenses, or take any action related thereto. And so I will start us off on the select board side. Is there a motion for either approval or disapproval or something else?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second,
Any discussion?
just, we got a report over today, and the wording is slightly different. It means the same, but the wording is slightly different.
Okay.
And it is a capital article. Do we want to take that word in?
Yeah, so what is the new language?
It separated them, so, Mark, have you got that available? No?
The report?
Yeah.
I sent it to Donna. I split it out, just our report, split it between 40,000 and 21,000. But we're okay with the way the
Okay with
article
this?
reads.
Okay, that's fine then, that's fine.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So the select board has voted, now capital.
Capital Improvement Planning Committee, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Abstentions? None. Recommend approval.
Excellent. All right. Mark, do you want to close the capital meeting, so that people can go? I'll give
Yeah.
you the opportunity.
Is there a motion
So
to
moved.
adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Heather, did you make the motion?
That's okay, Neil can make it.
No, listen, go right ahead. Second.
Second? Any discussion? None? All in favor of closing the CIPC meeting?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Abstentions? None? CIPC stands adjourned.
Okay.
Did he close the finance?
Well, they no longer have
Lost it,
a
lost the
quorum, so
quorum.
they're closed.
Closed up by default?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious how that happened. I've never seen that happen before.
yeah.
You could make me honorary again, but that's gonna help you.
Thank you, guys.
So with that, the Finance Committee has voted on all of these articles except 16, 17, and 18, and we don't have a quorum. So we're going to suggest that we will make recommendation at the annual meeting,
Yeah, I mean, that's.
because I can't do it this evening.
Okay,
So I need a parliamentarian to tell me that that's okay, because we can't vote on them this evening. And traditionally, we have done on occasion that before the meeting.
yep. So you would just need to post a meeting before the
Yep.
annual town meeting for the finance committee. As long as you have a quorum, then you could get a vote on approval or disapproval, and then make that information known at the time of town meeting.
I think we would hold a normal, regular finance committee to discuss these three, because they're so important. We're not going to do it 10 minutes before the annual meeting, the night of the annual meeting.
Oh, sure,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So what the warrant will read, if the warrant has to go to print first before you make your are able to vote and make a recommendation, the warrant will just read that finance will make a recommendation at town meeting.
So picking up on Kirk's point, we're we're adjourned by default, I think.
Yeah, I think you are.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen, so I wanted clarification.
Yeah. You-
Well,
you
told you,
can't
you'll never
carry
see
on
a
any
total
further business.
eclipse every day either, so.
I missed it today, so.
Yeah.
So we're adjourned.
Okay,
Yep, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Bill. I'll just give them a second. So, that out of the way, I'd like to make a recommendation that we switch gears here and allow Travis to do his thing.
That's fine.
I just thought you went through all the
Yeah,
town, that's
yeah.
all. I didn't
Nope,
want
that's
to-
okay.
I didn't know if you'd seen it.
No, no worries at all.
Travis, come on up.
Travis went.
Certainly. I'm ready. Pretty fist bump. I will watch my step as well.
It's not midnight yet.
Good evening. For those of you that didn't hear me earlier when I presented, my name's Travis Tebow for the Paxton DPW. I'm here to just give a brief update on the Asnabunskett water tank. So we will be doing a tank cleaning, an internal tank cleaning. We currently have it scheduled for the 29th of April. So prior to that, the week of the 22nd, we will be setting in place a water band. I'm not certain on the actual date we will be setting that in place, but just to be safe, it'll be most likely about the week prior. It will take us a short time to lower the tank levels to the best of our ability to where we feel safe to cover for fire suppression as well as providing clean, safe drinking water, to which point we will then need to drain the remainder of the tank prior to the 29th. That does take some time, as I can't just dump 250, 300, 400,000 gallons of water in the woods at one time.
Right.
We need to do so safely, slowly. That's why it will be implemented roughly the week prior. We will put out a code red prior to actually installing the ban and notifying DEP of that action. We're expecting the ban to be in place for roughly between 2 to 3 weeks. It takes time to lower, drain. There'll be roughly 1 day doing the internal cleaning, but then we also have to refill the tank. It's a 1 million gallon tank. It takes some time. We need to do so slowly in order to not harm the distribution system. Once the tank is to capacity, we then need to sample for total coliforms as well as volatile organics to make certain that there's nothing harmful in the water that's in the tank, as well as flushing once it's filled. Once we get back our results from sampling, we can then put the tank back online as long as the samples all came out good. So we're expecting a 2 to 3 week water band to be set in place starting sometime the week of the 20th. And again, we will put out a code red to notify everybody prior.
And can you just, I know you said the week of the 20th, can you just repeat the month?
Of
April?
this month, sorry, of
April
April.
20th,
Yep.
okay.
Yep, so we're looking just in a couple of weeks here, we'll be calling out a code red and notifying everyone that a water band is put in place for the tank cleaning on April 29th.
Great. And
Everybody wants the water.
in terms of this, bringing the water level down, is that done through use or is that done through discharge of the water?
Use, so we want to waste as minimal water as
Right.
possible, right? So our plan is to attempt to not pump for several days in order to allow for consumption of residents and our water customers to lower the levels in the tank for us.
Great.
So ideally, we'll get them down to 40 to 50%. That will still leave us somewhere around 600,000 gallons between the two tanks. In the tanks, I feel comfortable with that as long as the chief feels comfortable with that. I have notified the fire chief previously that we were doing this when we were doing this, so they're up to date as well. We'll get it as close to as comfortable as the two of us feel for both of our,
Needs,
what we need to do. From that point in time, we will need to then drain the tank of the remainder water in order for it to
Sure.
be cleaned.
Okay. And then the ban, what would be banned?
So no, all non-essential water usage. So I'm not saying you can't flush your toilet or cook food or take showers, none of that. You know, we're looking at not starting irrigation systems until after this is done throughout the town. Not washing your car out in the driveway, not washing your car at all, frankly.
Filling swimming
Basically, if it's not to sustain life as we need for hygiene purposes, for cooking, cleaning, so on and so forth, we're asking that you not use the water.
Okay, great.
Again, we're looking for roughly a 2 to 3 week span is what we're expecting.
Okay. And a code red will go out to let everybody know, and then will another code red go out to let people know when the water ban is over?
Absolutely. So at the start and at the ending.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. Any other questions for Travis?
Thank you. Thanks for letting
All
us
right.
know.
Thank you so much, Travis.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. So, I'm gonna suggest that we continue with the warrant articles at this point. You guys are welcome to stay. You're also welcome to go,
Okay.
if you would like. It's entirely up to you, but.
Yes, I'm okay with the, oh, can I just say one thing
Ye-
before we all leave?
Yeah, yeah,
I don't want to hijack the meeting.
I'm used to it.
Just so everybody's aware, on Saturday, we had a Meet Your Departments event here at the Public Safety from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Mark is looking at me right now. We are going to do it again this weekend, Saturday, the 13th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We strongly encourage anybody that has any questions about the things that we talked about tonight or what we do, how we do it, equipment, that kind of stuff, please come down and see us. We'll be right here in this training room. I'll even put coffee on like we did last weekend and entertain your questions and your ideas. So, thank you.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Thanks for a reminder.
All right. So we'll take these articles one at a time. We'll start at the top. And I'm just looking for a motion for approval, disapproval, or something else. So Article number 1 is the revolving fund article, bylaw article, to see if the town will vote to amend the current departmental revolving funds bylaw with the revisions shown on the attached bylaw. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And that's a motion for approval?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. And any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Article number 2 is the Council on Aging bylaw. You've had the opportunity to take a look at that, see if the town will vote to replace the current COA bylaw in its entirety with this new COA bylaw as attached. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And is that a motion for approval?
Yes.
And any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Article number 3 is the Recreation Commission bylaw. See if the town will vote to replace the current Recreation Committee bylaw in their entirety with this new bylaw. Is there a motion?
A motion to approve.
Second.
All those in, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Article number 4 is Chapter 90 authorization. See if the town will vote to accept Chapter 90 funds as written here in this article. Is there a motion?
To approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to the finance articles, this is Article number 5, which is the repurpose article, to see if the town will vote to repurpose the remaining funds left over from the IT improvements. And this would be to take the funds from the telephone upgrade and apply them toward IT. Is there a motion?
To approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Julia,
Yeah.
Carol did ask me to put a number in that article, and I forgot this morning. Can I give you a number for that?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Let me just grab my book. Hang on one I would say 15,000.
15,000, okay. So with that friendly amendment to add the 15,000 to the language, are we still good?
Yep.
Okay. And we have a motion and a second currently?
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Article 6 is the revolving fund expenditure limits, to see if the town will vote to set the expenditure limits as laid out here in the article. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Article 7 is the free cash transfer for police cruiser outfitting in the amount of $9,200 from FY24 certified free cash to outfit the new cruiser provided by Anna Maria College, including all related expenses. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Article 8 is a free cash transfer. This is the opioid fund article, to see if the town will transfer the sum of $5,089.46 from FY24 free cash to the opioid settlement special revenue fund. Is there a motion?
To approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Article 9, ambulance receipts reserved. This is the transfer from ambulance receipts reserved to pay for the, oh, we already
We already
did
did
this.
this.
So sorry. Moving on. Article 10 is the water enterprise article, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate through water department receipts the necessary expenses of the water department, as you can see here in the article. Is there a motion?
To approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, Article 11 is under the water enterprise, and again is for water tank maintenance in the amount of $20,681, which will come from retained earnings of the water enterprise fund to fill out the sixth year of the contract with Veolia, or act in any other way, in any way thereon. Is there a motion?
To approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Article 12 is to appropriate funds to road improvement. It's an amount of $121,841 to road improvement capital stabilization. Is there a motion?
To approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Article 13 is to use funds from that road improvement to see if the town will vote to appropriate the sum of $121,841 from the Road Improvement Capital Stabilization Fund for the purpose of resurfacing the roads. Is there a motion?
To approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Article 14 is for Wachusett Greenways, to see if the town will raise and appropriate or transfer from available funds $1,100 to be used for the expenses of Wachusett Greenways. Is there a motion?
To approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The next is the Bay Path budget article, to raise and appropriate the sum of $590,026 to pay, I'm sorry.
It's
Yeah, I kept getting excited on this article. 595,009.
Thank
I
you.
fixed it down below, and then Carol caught it. I forgot it in the paragraph again.
All right, so let's fix that. So to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $595,009 to pay its assessed share of the Bay Path Regional Vocational Technical School budget for the fiscal year beginning on July 1, 2024. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Article 16 is the FY25 override contingent budget. It's not anymore. Nope.
What's that?
So it is now the budget for Wachusett, I guess I can't look at this anymore. So it is now the budget for the Wachusett Regional School District, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $7,786,547, or any other sum to pay its assessed share of the Wachusett Regional School District budget for the fiscal year beginning on July 1st, 2024, and thereby approve the district's budget for said fiscal year or act in any way thereon. Is there a motion?
This is well, we really don't have a choice. Motion to approve, I guess.
It's a tough one, because if we don't approve it, we're probably going to get assessed it.
We're gonna get a
anyways.
shot in the foot. so.
Yep. All right, so we have a motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? None? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Article 17.
So Julie, on these last two articles, 17, 18, I did send them to Brian Falk on Friday. He has not got back to me. So whatever the recommendation is, or even if we wait till later with the approval of the entire warrant, I would just make sure at some point we make any recommendation contingent upon any changes that he makes.
Okay, all right.
Oops, sorry. Large pages, they're jumping. Hold on, sorry.
So how do we do this? Because are we going to approve both the articles or one of them?
So I think we can approve both the articles at town meeting, right?
Yep.
And that way, if the ballot passes, then only the first article would be,
I just didn't know if we wanted to, we was going to say what we preferred, that's all.
Right.
Oh, okay, it's fine.
It's it's a good point, Carol. It's whatever the select board wants to do. You could do it however you wish. The only other thing I would note is we traditionally have always had this as article submitted by FinCom. It seemed like there might be some dissent with FinCom as to the numbers, and I don't know if there's a desire to change that submitted by the select board instead of FinCom, or how you wish to proceed with that, because that might be a contested issue, because if they're not behind the number that's submitted, they may not approve submitting the article.
So can we ask that question before we change it? Because I'd hate to change it and then.
oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I
I'm
think
fine
that,
either way, but.
I think that, I know, speaking for myself, I would be fine
Yeah.
with putting forward the article in the event that finance was uncomfortable.
So if the board's willing to make the motion on this, I would just add that into the motion
Yeah,
and say
yeah.
that, if it's a recommendation for approval or disapproval, contingent, with the notion that it's being submitted by FinCom, and in the event FinCom does not feel comfortable with submitting the article, that we'll change the language to the select board and this motion will hold, or something of the sort.
Yep.
Excellent. So I'm going to take that.
Donna's like, I didn't type that.
All right, I'll take a stab at what I'm going to request for a motion, okay? So I'm going to request a motion for the FY '25 budget contingent on override, the town budget, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $6,474,677 or any other sum, and to further appropriate from the EMS receipts account the sum of $300,000 or any other sum, and to raise and appropriate the additional $1,440,000 for a total appropriation of $8,214,677 or any other sum, and that such sums be expended for the purposes under the direction of the respective town officers, boards, and committees, provided that such appropriation shall be contingent upon the passage of a Proposition 2.5 ballot question, singular, under General Laws, Chapter 59, Section 21C, or act in any way thereon. I'm going to ask for a motion for said article, which would be contingent upon approval by town council, and also contingent on submission by Finance Committee. In the event that Finance Committee was uncomfortable submitting, then it would be submitted by the Select Board.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yep.
All right,
So moved.
there you go.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Question though, the contingent override budget I have,
Yeah, it's been.
as of Donna's email this morning, was 7914.
So Carol
changed a
caught for
lot.
me. Yeah, so Carol had recommended that I follow some of the language outline that we did in 2018, which meant that we split out the actual override amount into the additional assessment. So the additional assessment
Right.
plus that top number,
Okay.
plus the 300 gets you to the 8,216,677. Or at least it should. Feel free to double check that math, because I've had fun.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does now.
Okay.
It just threw me off because I'm sitting there
looks
looking at it
different.
and all of a sudden.
That's
it's
why
like,
this
whoa.
is version 10, Kirk. 'Cause 10's the best.
Okay. So last article?
Yep.
All right. So this is going to be I'm going to put the same contingencies on the motion for this one that I'm requesting. And so this would be the FY '25 budget, which is not contingent on an override for the town. So see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $6,474,726 or any other sum, and to further appropriate from the ambulance receipts reserved for appropriations account the sum of $400,000 or any other sum, and to further appropriate from free cash the sum of $500,000 or any other sum for a total appropriation of $7,374,726 or any other sum to defray the necessary and usual expenses of the several departments of the town for the fiscal year beginning on July 1, 2024, and especially for any and all of the items shown on the attached budget, provided that this vote shall be deemed null and void if the vote taken pursuant to Article 16.
17, that's a lie.
Sorry, so
good.
17, on the warrant for this annual town meeting and the associated override ballot question vote are both approved or take any action related thereto. I'm asking for a motion on this article that I just read, which would be contingent on approval by town council or any changes made by town council, and as submitted by the finance committee. However, in the event finance was unwilling or uncomfortable with presenting this article as written, that we would present it instead.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So do you want to hold off on a blanket motion, or do you want us to make it now?
If the board's comfortable, I think you can make it now, just again with the caveat that Brian hasn't looked at those last two articles. So
Okay.
making sure it's contingent upon any changes for I mean, he's not gonna change the substance of them, but if he doesn't like any of the language, he might alter it.
Right. So what I'm looking for now is a motion to approve the warrant for annual town meeting on May 6th. And this would be contingent on any changes made by town council for the last articles.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Now we have some fun stuff. I'm gonna whip through it. Okay. I'm just making sure I'm looking at the right thing. I'm not. Good thing I checked. Let's try it again.
We had consent items in the new business?
Yeah. Bear with me.
Do you want me to throw out the agenda?
Sure.
Okay. Hold on.
I got it. All right. So we had the departmental presentation. We can move on to the consent items. We have 5 of them, and I'm going to read them off as per usual. Number 1 is to approve the meeting. So again, if you have any objections, please say so, and we will move it. Number 1 is to approve the meeting minutes from the regular meeting held on April 4th. Number 2 is to accept the resignation from Donna Couture as the parking clerk for the town of Paxton. Number 3 is to appoint Donna Parsons as the parking clerk for the town of Paxton, so we'll still have a Donna as the parking clerk for the town of Paxton. Number 4 is to accept the resignation of Christopher Isperduli from the local historic district commission. And number 5 is to approve the new employee health insurance rates for FY '25.
So moved.
I have no problem with them.
No objections? Hearing no objections, then I declare that they are all approved. Okay. So we have to do the April licenses. I'm not gonna lie, I wanna take these 2 out of order, but there's really no compelling reason to do that. So we're just gonna go in order. Poor Donna. All right. We have the April licenses here. We can motion these in bulk, right? So I'm gonna just read them off real quick, and then we will make a single motion to approve, assuming that everybody's on the same page. So we have a license for weekday soft drinks for JLC Donuts, DBA Dunkin' Donuts. We have a license for weekday soft drinks for Paxton Sports Center Incorporated. We have a license for weekday soft drinks for Theo's. We have a license for jam, syrup, bread, candy, seeds, and honey for House Farm and Garden LLC. License for House Farm and Garden LLC as a fruit and vegetable stand. Weekday soft drinks for Paxton Marketplace. Nursery stock and florist for House Farm and Garden LLC. Nursery stock and florist for Pleasant View Nursery.
Is it Pleasant View, or
Is it
should
still
that
under
be-
Pleasant View?
There's two corrections, sorry, I made the correction on top and you're reading it off the bottom.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's my error, so, you've got one, obviously Pleasant View is now Sterling Nursery. So
Yeah.
if you look up top, it's got the,
Yep, it is Sterling Nursery, so that's what we need,
and then you also did under the weekday soft drink, Paxton Sports Center.
Yep,
now Soccer Asylum.
which is now Soccer
So,
Asylum.
yes, I apologize, I gotta correct the bottom there, I corrected the top, I
Okay.
corrected the bottom.
I'm reading from the larger print. As sad as this has gotten.
I saw you got glasses on top of your head.
Error completely.
Okay. So with those corrections.
With those corrections, yes. Duly noted.
Okay, and the last one is for Robinson's Greenhouses for a nursery stock and florist. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, last item on our agenda is to sign the warrant for the annual town election. Is there a motion?
Motion to sign the warrant for the annual town election.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And this is something we normally do on camera, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign. Very good. And we can sign these after. Thank you. Very good. All right. I have nothing under old business. Select board correspondence, nothing. Town administrators report.
The budget. The only other piece I have, I do have a piece of good news. We originally thought that the DCR earmark for recreation was gonna be subject to the 9C cut in half. That's what Charlie was under the impression of when we swapped over.
Yep.
I thought there was a confusion on the state level. I called today, I'm like, you sent me a check for 27,000 instead of 13,500. Like, is something wrong? They're like, oh, no, it's not impacted. So good news is we get the full earmark for that for 27,000.
And that was for the basketball hoops, right?
That was for basketball hoops, the playground, and the Wentworth bathrooms.
Excellent.
So I did notify, I got the email when Kathy and Heather Larson were here, so they already know, and Jeff is currently, I think, overseas somewhere, so
Okay.
we'll let him know. He'll be happy.
I'm sure they're happy about that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Public comment? They all left us. I don't blame them. That's it. That's all I got. That's all she wrote. Is there a
Motion to
motion?
adjourn.
Can I just say one thing before?
Oh,
you
yes,
adjourn?
Sorry.
I was going to say, while everyone was here, I did actually go out and say thank you to the department heads, because what they're doing to create these new budgets, old budgets, these slides, these meet and greets, that's all in addition to the regular work, and I know it must be a lot for them, so thank them all, and the town administrators for all the effort that's been put in.
Right? Yep.
Can't do without them, so thank
That's an
you.
important note. Thank you, Carol, for raising that. Definitely appreciate all their extra effort on this because Lord knows we need it right now.
Everybody's feeling it.
Yep. For sure. For sure. Okay. With
So,
that,
Now I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.
Thank you.